What's up, y'all? It's Bonk. This is my first actual video that isn't like introducing myself. Firstly, I want to say that I was totally expecting like 3 views, so I am happy to see that YouTube is at least minimally spreading my video on some people's feeds. But I do realize my last video took forever to actually get to the point, so in this video I will be showing you the best no BS build that I've come across. Many YouTube videos about the Ocucor tend to just use the Ocucor for base steel path and lower. Well, today I'm going to give an alternative that could scale into the thousands. The footage in the background from what you can see is just instant death with some colorful numbers for show, and many of you already know that this weapon is the Ocucor. This weapon is my all-time favorite weapon and my go-to for all content in the game. Now to start off, let's look at the unique trait of the weapon. This states that kills generate up to 4 energy tendrils that lock onto enemies near reticule. Tendrils reset on reload. This description is kind of blurry, so let me clarify it. When we shoot the weapon at first, there is one beam that does damage and is like every other basic beam weapon in the game. But when we kill an enemy, you can see that there is a miniature beam going up and then down on enemies coming from my weapon. Also, with each kill, there is an additional beam that follows generally the same behavior, maxing out 4 miniature beams and the beginning single beam. With this trait alone, the weapon was mediocre because you could shoot the weapon and kill enemies and generate the extra beams, but then your magazine ammo would run out and you would need to reload, and that would reset the beams back to only the single beam. But with the introduction of Sentient Surge, the weapon's augment, the weapon soon turned ridiculous. Now, if you're wondering what this augment does, it states that each target eliminated refills 20% of Ocucor's magazine. Status chance and critical chance are increased by 60% for each tendril active. From what you read, I'm sure you can already determine where this is going. The magazine problem from before was now fixed because each target you killed gave you back 20% of your magazine, instantly making it to the point where you never really need to reload. But also, let's just admire that critical and status chance boost up to 240% with all 4 tendrils for a second. So now you have a weapon that, when paired with its augment and a good build, is really overpowered, so let's jump right into the build. However, before we get to the weapon, let's look at our Warframe first that can boost the Ocucor's damage per second. This absolute beast of a Warframe will be our weapon platformer today, not only because of the damage boost from Roar and soon Nourish, but also his tankiness to be sure we never get knocked down or even killed. By the way, I know my Rhino looks cool AF. I will make a video on the fashion if asked for it in the comments. Also, we use 2 corrosive shards to fully strip enemies with our corrosive-based Ocucor, and we use the orange shards to provide critical chance because our weapon is mostly heat damage. If you want, you can drop the orange shards for other shards if you only want base yellow critical hits. Anyways, we use this build shown not only for power, but also for convenience. We wouldn't want to be casting our 2 duration abilities constantly, because that is really annoying and also tanks our damage. That is why I use natural talent and molt efficiency. Also, arcane velocity is almost a must for most min-maxing builds when talking about the Ocucor. Next, you can see I am using the Strun Prime. Now, the reason I'm using this weapon is because I have a Riven mod for it, which boosts my damage done to Acolytes, which the Ocucor sucks against. Any explosive projectile could work when dealing with Acolytes, for example, the Kuva Brahma or the Kuva Tonkor. Now, finally, to the Ocucor, we can first see we are using the 60/60 mods for corrosive because the status chance boost is amazing for full stripping armor. Next, we have the base critical chance and damage mods, which is self-explanatory. If you don't have arcane velocity or the reinforced bond from our pet, then you can switch out Pistol Gambit for Lethal Torrent. Next, we have both galvanized mods for a lot of multi-shot and status chance, as well as the damage boost for galvanized shot. Obviously, you will see I am using Sentient Surge because it is amazing. Now, I know you see a Riven and think it's scary, but if you don't have a Riven, just put an Expel mod for the double dipping of heat procs. Now, if you are lazy like me, instead of having to switch out your Bane mod every mission, you can just put Lethal Torrent and then switch out Pistol Gambit for Creeping Bullseye for even more critical chance. I am not, because too much fire rate tends to be bad and I don't like having to fear of reloading. Ruinous Extension is just for QOL, so if you don't want to invest that much, then don't worry about it. Now for the Arcane, you will see using Secondary Encumber. Now this is because of 2 main reasons. Firstly, Corpus to this weapon is its #1 enemy, because we are doing no magnetic procs or toxin procs. So whenever we use Encumber, we have a big chance of doing toxin damage to Corpus, which will almost instantly delete them. The second reason is for level scaling reasons. Cascadia Flare caps out at 480% damage. Yet when we pair the multiple different status procs on the enemy from Encumber with Galvanized Shot, then we get a much higher damage percentage. But if you disagree, try it out yourself and let me know what you find. Now moving on to the melee, you can use either the Vastalock or any Gunblade so that you can full strip the Acolyte using the Shattering Impact mod so you can one-tap them with your primary. Or if you don't have a problem with already one-tapping them like me, then you could use the Praetos for more QOL because of the movement speed bonuses. Now, the focus school is up to you. I mainly use Madurai for the casting speed and the damage buff, but Zenurake also works well for the free energy economy boost. Next, we use Nautilus Prime, not only for the mod Cordon, but also for both Tenacious and Reinforced Bond mods. Now, if you want a guide on this, then let me know in the comments. Now, for the very last part of the build, we use Vergless Prime, so that we can use the Shivering Contagion mod to mass proc cold status effects immediately on enemies, so that we not only get the critical damage boost against frozen enemies, but also the free CC that it comes with. Now, for the build, that's all there is to it, and the gameplay literally is just running around, killing everything instantly without even needing to look at them. The only problem is at the start, ramping the Ocucor up to get all mini beams. To fix this, we can just damage an enemy a little bit using our primary weapon, and then finishing them off with the Ocucor, and after that, you should be good. I hope this video helped you with your very own build, because I know that not a lot of people bring this weapon to the level I do. It would be so kind if you were to tap the like button or even subscribe if you want to help me on my journey into Warframe content creation. If there is any misinformation in this video, or if you want to add any tips, please leave a comment for me to read. Again, thank you, and have a blessed day.